As India's logistics sector races to keep pace with the demands of an increasingly connected digital first economy, one name has consistently stood out for its agile, tech driven approach: AWL India. From warehousing to distribution, from telecom to retail, the evolving complexities of supply chain management are finding smarter, faster, and more sustainable solutions. Welcome to Chain Changemakers, a special video series by Logistics Insider, where we spotlight the leaders and disruptors shaping India's logistics landscape. Beyond the numbers and headlines, these are the stories of resilience, foresight, and relentless ambition. In every episode, we connect with industry leaders who are not just identifying the gaps, but bridging them with technology, fresh thinking, and scalable strategies. From optimizing last mile delivery to creating robust multimodal ecosystems, these conversations are a window into the future of logistics. In today's episode, we sit down with Rahul Mehra, the founder and CEO of AWL India Private Limited, a visionary leader with over 2 decades of hands on experience. Mr. Mehra has built AWL into one of the country's fastest growing tech based logistics companies. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Sandhya. Thank you to all the viewers as well, and thank you for such nice words and a nice introduction. So we are really thankful and grateful to the platform that you invited AWL and gave us an opportunity to share our experiences and our journey, which is being exciting and dynamic for last almost over 20 years now.
Sir, without further ado, let's just move on to the first question. Sir, as the founder and CEO of AWL India, how are you leveraging your global experience and in supply chain management to address the unique challenges of maintaining food quality and safety in India's cold chain logistics, particularly for perishable goods like fruits, vegetables, and dairy?
Just to give you a background about our company, Sandhya, and the journey so long, I think the biggest challenge which I've seen is a challenge where we all are not able to bridge the dots. We are not able to connect all the dots, which are the missing links in our infrastructure. AWL uniquely, the ambition when we started, we wanted to be champions in all three modes of supply chain, which was air, water, land. As the journey progressed, we emphasized more and more in terms of technology. Tech, I believe, the way we transformed the entire logistics domain was the game changer for not only for us, for our clients, because I think last almost 10 years, this decade, from being like from demonetization to COVID to GST implementation and getting into dark stores with a consumer friendly and 22 minutes, 20 minutes delivery from Blinkits and all those platforms. So the journey has been very, very dynamic. India is at a very fast pace. The size of Indian consumer, which is, I think, everyone acknowledges that we are going to be a 10 trillion economy very, very soon. So you have a very, very relevant question about the food and how the food supply chain is transforming in India's domain. I would say, I think the biggest challenge I face while I talk about specifically about food is the perishable domain, which is a very, very niche domain. This is one challenge which all the supply chain companies, all the farmers, all the producers, all the big conglomerates are not able to figure it out. This is a capex heavy business, so you need to invest a huge amount of capex. Secondly, you need presence, and thirdly, your consumer needs to be ready to fish in some additional money to get some of the products across from farm to the table. So the consumers are getting mature. I can see the market is also getting mature. So I would say that in specifically when I talk about AWL, we have been instrumental since COVID days. We created plug and play cold chain, supply chain. We also created tech where we would know something which is produced in Northeast, like a pineapple, to a market like in Mumbai. The pricing is so dynamic that a price of 4 rupees gets transformed into $80 when it reaches Mumbai. So you can imagine within the same country, the price fluctuations only because of the additional cost which is incurred because of the logistics is getting passed down to the consumer. So if we are able to resolve this big problem, I think it'll be a win-win situation for the producers and as well as the consumers. So what we figured out was we need to be closer to the consumer. Secondly, the plug and play module needs to be there. We don't need to create permanent cold storage structures because as and when the seasonality, because India being so diverse, the produce can be from any part of India, from east to west to north to south. So we need to be ready. We need to be seasonal ready as well because this is not something which goes on for 12 months. And we need to basically connect with all modes of transport. We need to get involved with railways. We need to also use surface. And of course, some of the products which are pretty cash crops, we also try to tie up with some of the leading airlines. So that's what, Sandhya, I would recommend that plug and play module is a game changer for AWL.
Okay. Wonderful. Thank you, sir. In your answer, you briefly mentioned technology. So my next question is related to that only. Can you share a specific technology or process that AWL has implemented to enhance efficiency and reduce spoilage in the food supply chain, and how it sets you apart in the industry?
Uh, I'll tell you a story, Sandhya, which is like I've been talking about when being part of a lot of panels and when I've been invited to a lot of these conferences. It is very interesting when I started this and when the company was set up. You know, being a pass out from a management institute, you come, you join, you have dreams that okay, we need to transform, ERP needs to be in place. But what I figured out was while we were looking into a lot of these ERPs and systems, we found that food is a very typical vertical because one, it does not work the way supply chain works in a normal standard B2B business because it's not first in, first out. It is first expiry, first out. Secondly, temperature plays an important role. Third, timeline deliveries plays an important role. And the product itself is not homogeneous. So product can be it can be from mangoes to strawberries to poultry to fish. It can be anything. So what basically while talking about the ERP and the system, we created something. We saw that a lot of people are getting drowned in data. They are getting drowned while using applications. So we created a proprietary system and we named it Swim. We wanted our consumers, we wanted everyone to stay afloat. So the biggest challenge in today's world is wastage when it comes to food. We wanted to create a tech which was plug and play, where we wanted people from farmer to middleman to the market and to the consumer. Everyone should have a visibility. So we created an ERP whereby data can be pulled out and then can be connected with dashboards with a complete plug and play MIS. We created order modules where anyone, a basic farmers at a basic license user price of just few dollars, just $10 for any consumer, he can use this robust ERP and he can just order anything, he can allocate anything, he can reach to any consumer. And then later on, we created an RFID tech whereby identification of the products by batch numbers, by expiries became very easy. Inventory started talking to the facilitator rather than we going to the inventory and trying to look at them. So that was something which was very, I would say, transformational in our journey.
Thank you. Great initiative, sir. Really. You were also mentioning about the quick commerce. So you also hold expertise in business development and procurement. How is AWL India adapting its cold chain solutions to meet the rising demand for quick commerce and e-commerce deliveries of temperature-sensitive food products in India's urban market?
This is, I would say, for us also, it's not a piece of cake. Pretty challenging, be it us or be it, I would say, any big player in any developed market. Yeah, it's a big challenge, especially for something which is not a full truckload, which is something because in quick commerce you are looking at smaller quantities, larger number of volume, reaching to many consumers. So yes, it is challenging. So the coverage of entire India, including 736 districts and running into 30,000 odd pin codes. I would not say that we as a company or anyone else in this market is able to reach out to every one of them. But the endeavor is that in all the bigger metros and in all the bigger tier two cities, our endeavor is to reach to be able to create and fulfill the dark stores as soon as possible. And this works on a beautiful hub and spoke model, which has been working fine for us since COVID days. Just to give you a background, Sandhya, our company managed the entire COVID supply chain across India. So that gave us an edge in terms of managing both cold chain and also in terms of perishables here. So, of course, so quick commerce is the game, and I think next few months and next few years you will see a lot of AI getting into it, and I believe it should transform the entire domain.
Sir, let's talk about sustainability now. Sustainability is a key focus in modern logistics. What initiatives is AWL undertaking to balance environmental responsibility with the operational demands of food supply chain logistics?
Sandhya, this is very, very relevant and very prompt as far as the scenario, the current AQI levels where I'm staying. I'm in Gurgaon, so Delhi NCR itself. I think whatever in last few years, we've never seen such kind of abrupt climate being so hot at times. Monsoons are pretty erratic. So the weather is changing, which is a harsh reality which we all should accept. Uh, as a company, yes, we are very much concerned, very much, and the entire company is working on sustainability. All our warehouses, which are bigger than 100,000 square feet, are on either on green power backups or on the solar backup, where majority of the energy which is produced is consumed by the warehouse and the remaining goes into the grid. As a company, we also think that the responsibility of recycling the products, which is more in terms of our hardware, our electronic recycling. So we have been very, very focused in using products which can be recycled. The EV fleet, which is something which is our dream, because the only challenge which I feel currently is the charging points. But wherever the delivery points are within 50 square kilometers of any bigger tier two or tier three city, our endeavor is that we should deliver the products to our EV fleet. So yes, as a company, reduce the carbon footprint is our one of the key goals, which are set for 2025, 2026. And we are pretty much aware about our responsibility towards sustainability.
Great, sir. Now we have reached the last question of this episode. What advice would you offer to food industry professionals looking to strengthen their cold chain operations to meet the evolving consumer expectations for fresh and frozen products, especially as India's logistic landscape continues to transform?
The only mantra which I think, I don't know the reason, but only mantra which I can give to majority of the middle and medium and the small enterprises would be plan your produce and your end consumption, use forecasting tools, ensure that the shelf life, which when I say the turnaround of your product to the consumer, has to be very, very stringent. Let the product life supersede the shelf life. Because I would say that you just don't need to keep the products in a warehouse. When you have produced something, we need to calculate. So we need to use the tools where we know the consumption pattern. we know where exactly it is being consumed and how much time we need to turn around the product from the farm to the table. So lesser the turnaround time, I would say better it is for every one of us. Not that difficult because I believe 70% of the wastage is on account of poor planning, um, seasonality, and also lack of infrastructure. So I think if we are able to plan, forecast, and be very, very close to the consumer in terms of the consumption pattern, I think that's what is going to change the entire life cycle of perishable products.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for your time. And I think that it was great talking to you. The answers were extremely insightful, extremely informative. I think it's going to benefit every listener, every viewer here. Thanks once again for joining us.
Thank you, Sandhya. Thank you. Thank you for the invite. Thank you.